Hey you guys, my name is Mara Sullivan and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about breathing life back into yourself, breathing life back into your life, just having a little refresh, rejuvenation for yourself and for your life. This video is one of a few videos that I'm doing on here called for a series called It's the Spring Thing. I wanted to just do some fun spring themed videos. I just finished a Galentine's Day series where I talked about a ton of different girlhood topics, womanhood topics for Galentine's Day. So if you have not seen those videos, go check those out. I have a ton of just fun girl chats. We're covering PMS, divine feminine, self-care, intimacy, sex, just all of the fun girlhood topics, friendships, relationships. Go check out those videos. It's about 10 videos in that little mini series. And doing that series made me realize that I actually love doing a series. And so we're just going to jump right into another series for spring since we are right on the cusp of making that transition from winter to spring. I thought that it would be fun to do some spring themed videos about all different spring topics. When we think of spring, we think of rejuvenation and rebirth and blossoming and full bloom and growth. And just spring just has so many beautiful nature spiritual topics that can be applied to our life. And so that is what this series is all about. This video, like I said, is going to be about breathing life back into yourself, which is one of the major themes of spring. So let's just talk about it. The first thing that I want to mention when it comes to breathing life back into yourself is that you don't always have to do something new. You don't always have to apply something new to your life. Every single time we think of setting goals or doing resolutions or New Year's, like anything that comes with a new season or a restart, we think that we need 50 different new things in order to hit the ground running in order to get started. Try taking the things that you already have in your life, the things that you're already doing, and improve on those. And so this can be with any area of your life that you want, that you feel like needs a refresh or you feel like needs an update from your wardrobe, the clothes that you wear. You don't always need to go out and buy new things. Figure out how to revamp, figure out how to update, restyle what you already have. And that's just like a small example, but you can take that example and apply it to the bigger things in your life. So your clothes, but also like your health, or you know doing a workout, like to figure out if you have a certain workout that you're already doing. For me, the treadmill is my go-to. Instead of walking at a certain speed, right now I walk at like 4.1, 4.2, like when I do just my speed walks, like just I can have a higher incline and go at a faster pace. Like you don't always have to do something brand new. You can just increase the intensity on what you're already doing. So you can apply that to any area of your life that you want to refresh, that you feel like needs to be revived, or that you feel like you need to breathe some life into. You can apply that to your skincare. For me, minimal is everything, and I apply, simplicity to every single area of my life. That's why I try to emphasize you don't always need new, 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 and more, more, more. Work with what you already have, and sometimes it means subtracting, not adding. So if you have things, this also helps with decision fatigue, which is also a part of breathing life back into yourself. If you feel like you have way too many choices to make, figure out how to minimize and simplify your life as much as possible. If you feel like you have way too many products, you do not need a ton of different things to function. Trust me, you don't. I know it seems like you do, especially with the way consumerism operates now. We're always being fed and thrown a new product, a new this. Like, figure out how to just stick to what you already have. You don't need more. Like, I use the basic skincare. I use a face oil, moisturizer, cleanser. That's it. I don't really wear makeup to record. I do have on lipstick, mascara, and eyeliner, but that's it. And I fill in my eyebrows. But my eyebrows look like this. There's just like a crease in my eyebrows that I just fill in a little bit. But you don't need a ton of stuff. So if you can figure out ways to subtract more than add, it will breathe life into your space and into your life, because you'll have room physically and mentally for more things that you actually want in your space and in your life. And so figure out, rather than, you know, honing in on things that you want to add to certain areas of your life, whether it's health, workouts, wardrobe, work, career, business, figure out ways that you can subtract some things. What this is going to do is going to, one, free your space, free your mental space so that you don't have that decision fatigue, so that you always don't have a ton of choices to make. Plan ahead as much as possible, as well as going to help you to avoid decision fatigue. But also having your go-to meals, your go-to snacks when it comes to what you're eating and simplifying that. It's also just going to really help you to, like I said, just make more mental room and more physical room for the things that you actually want. And so, really refocusing on what you want to do with your life is going to breathe a new sense of life, a new sense of purpose into your life and into your soul and into your being. What do you want to do with your time? I feel like goals need to be rebranded into just things that we want to do with our time and things that we want to do with our life. A lot of times it's hard for many people to stick to goals because, one, they're not specific, and two, goals sometimes are based on what other people are doing. That's why a lot of times New Year's resolutions don't stick for many people, because they're just trying to do what other people are doing. You need to figure out what you want out of life, and then start living your life and have your goals and your, the set things that you want to spend your time doing. The action steps that you want to take need to align with your big picture of your specific life, not what someone else is doing. You can use things that have helped, especially if you have people who you look up to who have done what you want to do. Take what you can and implement, things from their life into your own life. But you also really need to hone in on being specific to you. And so your goals can't be generic. Your goals can't be, your action steps can't be things that everyone else is doing. You have to figure out what you specifically want out of life. That is going to, really help you to focus and get clear on the action steps that you need to take in order to live a more fulfilling life, in order to breathe new life into yourself, is when you have a renewed sense of purpose, when you have a renewed sense of your why. Why do you want to do the things that you want to do? What do you want to do? If you are unclear about what you want out of life and you just feel like you're going through the motions and you're just getting through the day and you're just, taking everyone else's advice and opinions about what you should do with your life, but you don't really know what you want for yourself, now is the time to get super clear and as specific as possible about what it is that you want. That is going to help you to breathe new life into yourself. If you feel stagnant, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're in a rut or in a funk and you just don't know what you're doing, or you feel maybe restless, or just that, you all over the place, or that you're not doing anything with your life, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life, figure out your why. Figure out why you're here. Why do you think you're here? What comes naturally to you? What do people compliment you on? What do you, a lot of times, our purpose, or things that are related to our why and things that are related to our purpose, we don't always realize because they come so naturally to us. They're things that we just do easily. You don't realize that that's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. A lot of times we overlook the things that come the most natural to us. I heard Mel Robbins tell a really good story. If you have not read Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, perfect read for going into a new season. But she told the story of her daughter, and her daughter was obsessed with TV her entire life. Her kid was obsessed with TV, which is like every parent's worst nightmare, when your kid is literally like unbelievably hyper fixated on TV. But she said that was her kids, like that was her daughter's everything. Her daughter loved TV. When she got to college, she tried to major in something that had nothing to do with TV. She was miserable. She was trying to figure out her life. And she said when she got to, Mel Robbins went to go visit her daughter. I think she said she was in college, and her daughter was just kind of in a funk and just trying to do so many different things, and she was still like loved TV. She knew everything about TV. Like she knew like how different roles should have been, casted, and who should have played what part, and what is wrong with the TV scene. Like she wasn't just obsessed with watching it, but she got really detailed and, really specific about the making of a TV show. And so instead of continuing to tell her daughter, Mel Robbins, instead of continuing to tell her daughter how, ridiculous it is to be this obsessed with TV, she finally just got the light bulb moment, or the aha moment, as Oprah Winfrey calls it. Was like, have you ever considered just working in television? You would be great at casting. You're great. All of these TV, you have all this knowledge of TV. You have all this knowledge of, you know, the makings of a show and what makes a good show. And you know, you've studied the screen your entire life. She was obsessed with TV. Have you ever considered just working with TV? And so she took her kid from college to Hollywood and let her daughter just apply to a job in TV. And it came the most natural to her. A lot of times, what you are so good at and what, is going to make you the most fulfilled and bring you the most purpose is genuinely what you are drawn to doing, what comes naturally to you, even if it's something that you think is wrong. A lot of times when we don't follow traditional paths, and when we're drawn to things that are not corporate, medical, financial, those like stereotypical, straightforward, good government job type of things, it's going to be seen as, or looked at, or looked down upon. Things like YouTube, things like creating content, anything in the arts. A lot of times those things are not taken seriously, but a lot of times those things make the most money. So don't let people fool you, okay? And so just when you really get in your lane, for lack of better terms, when you really hone in on what it is that comes the most natural to you and what you actually just love to do and what you're good at, that's usually 9 times out of 10 what you're supposed to be doing with your time. And like I said before, a lot of times those things are going to be looked down upon. A lot of times those things are going to be untraditional. They might be different. They're going to be things that other people are going to tell you not to pursue, or say that, are not serious and you can't make a living doing that, quote unquote. It doesn't matter. Like, take money aside. What do you want to do? What do you like to do? And what are you good at? And what comes natural to you? The more you focus on that and the more you do whatever that thing is, or whatever those things are to you, the more things are going to start to fall into place, and you're going to get more opportunities to be able to do those things more regularly. And, at some point, the two are going to come together where you're going to be able to live a life doing those things. It's just that you have to be consistent in doing it. One, you have to take it seriously, and two, you have to be consistent in doing it. And so, when you have to get to the place where you can do both. I always love Oprah Winfrey's quote, "Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do." But I've kind of revamped it a little bit, where I say, do what you have to do while also doing what you want to do. I work multiple jobs right now. I work a 9 to 5. I also nanny. I wear many different hats. I work pretty much 7 days a week. Like, from the outside looking in, I have no time to record videos. You know what I mean? But I know that doing YouTube is something that I love to do. It makes me happy. Like, it's just something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And so it's up to me to figure out how to make the time for it. No matter how many excuses I have, no matter how tired I am, no matter, you know, how many hours I work that day. If this is something I want to do and it's part of something that I want to leave behind, if it's part of my overall big picture of my life, and it's part of my legacy, and it's, just, like I said, it's just work that I feel passionate about and that I want to do, I have to make the time to do it. And so you have to really hone in on your purpose and your value and what you want to leave behind, that big picture of your life. um, I tell this exercise in every single one of my videos, but think about yourself 60, 70, 80 years old, looking back on where you are in your life right now. I personally am 26. What do you want to look back on your life and say that you've done? What is the legacy that you want to have left behind? What are the things that you want to have, be remembered for? And live your life according to that. That is how you're going to always bring yourself that sense of rejuvenation and, give yourself a renewed sense of life and breathe life back into yourself, or breathe life back into your whatever it is that you're doing, when you have a strong why, when you are clear about the big picture vision of your life, it's going to be so much easier to feel re-energized, to take the action, to feel re-energized about life in general. Life is supposed to also be fun. I think that as we get older, we get so hung up on the responsibilities and the seriousness of life. And I get it. We have families to take care of, we have bills to pay, but you are also supposed to be enjoying your life. Life is meant to be lived. As cheesy as it is, you're supposed to be enjoying your time here, and you're supposed to be making the most of it. So how can you take advantage of wherever it is that you are in your life right now, even if the circumstances are not the most ideal? Even if you have to do things that you are doing in your life right now that you don't want to be doing, how can you, I don't care if it's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, do something that is going to fulfill you while you're doing something that you have to do. Again, going back to that quote, doing what you want to do until you can do what you have to do. Do what you want to do, and also do what you have, like what you want to do. Do what you have to do and do what you want to do at the same time. Figure out how to do both. Don't wait until you're finished doing what you have to do what you want to do, because life is going to pass you by. Like the next, I love, seeing those quotes on like Pinterest or Instagram or whatever that says, whether you put the work in or not, the next 6 months are going to go by anyway. So what do you want to have done in that time? Like that really is such a huge motivator for me, because I know that I've been in places, or I've had times in my life where I just put off doing things just to put them off, or because I kept making excuses to do them. And I realized that that time went by anyway. And I actually looked back on it and I did have time to do the things that I wanted to do. I just was telling myself that I didn't. But when I look back on that time and realize how much TV I was watching, or how much I was scrolling on my phone, or even, too much socializing, when I could have been putting that time towards something else, even though it is important to make time for, relationships and for the people in your life, different seasons in your life are going to require different things out of you. And so it depends on what you are, it depends on your priorities for that time in your life. So how can you take advantage of wherever you are in your life right now? Especially if you are young. If you're watching this and you're in your 20s, especially if you don't have a family to take care of yet, you have the least responsibility that you're ever going to have in your life. You can get away with a lot when you are young. And so and even if you're not, no matter what age you are watching this, use whatever advantages are in your life. Use whatever you can in your life right now, or whatever circumstance you're in, especially like if you're living with your parents and you're not paying rent yet, use that to your advantage. How can you save as much money as possible? Like a lot of times, what we think are the least ideal circumstances, or what we think are unfortunate situations, or, we're not where we want to be yet, that's the time when you need to get creative. That is the time when you need to be the most intentional with your time, because 9 times out of 10, you have some type of freedom. And so, even if it doesn't look like it, figure out how to take advantage of wherever it is that you are in your life right now. Whether you have a lot of energy right now, or you have extra free time right now, like what can you, or what do you want to use that time doing? Again, just think of that big picture of your life and start living your life according to that. We all know this, but one of the best ways to start to breathe new life into yourself and into your life is to try something new. And so if you really are in a place where you feel stuck, you feel stagnant, you just feel like you don't know what you're doing, or you just need, you need some energy, be a little spontaneous. Give yourself permission to say yes to something you normally say no to. Give yourself permission to try something new. Again, take a risk that you've been wanting to take. Get out of your comfort zone and do something that you haven't done before. I've been wanting to do YouTube for so many years now, literally since I was 16. I'm 26 now, you guys. But it's not something I'm beating myself up for, because I know that this time in my life is like when I was quote unquote supposed to. And so don't become obsessed with the past. Don't become obsessed with what you did or didn't do in the past. Just focus on what you can do right now and just do it. Like, stop overthinking. Don't let yourself get stuck in the same story over and over and over and over again of whatever negative thing that you're telling yourself. Just let yourself jump, like, take that leap. Like, let yourself do the new thing and come out of your comfort zone and, just try. I think you need to just give yourself permission to just try. A lot of times we hold ourselves back so much from doing so many different things because we're scared to do them. We're scared of what other people will think. We're scared of failure. Who cares? Like, get to the point where, again, you're living your life for you. Take responsibility for your life. You have to live your life according to how you want to live your life. Again, everything is going to come back down to you. What do you want to be remembered for? What is the work that you want to have done? How do you want to have spent your time here? And live your life according to that. Life is so much more fun and so much more exciting when you allow yourself to do something new. Learn from new people. If you're around the same group of people every single day, and a lot of us are, because a lot of us are working a job where that is where we're spending the majority of our time. Once you are not at your job, be around or let yourself explore other cultures, let yourself explore other groups of people, let yourself get out of the own little bubble of your world and open yourself up to how massive this world is. If you only consume the content of the same two or three people, or the same people, your same friends, your same family, your same favorite influencers or creatives or artists, learn from new people, learn from people way older than you, learn from people who are no longer here anymore. Whatever it is that you're into, whatever it is inspires you, learn from the people who have already done things that you want to do. Whatever piques your interest, explore that. Curiosity is one of the keys to breathing life back into yourself. If you can get yourself curious and thinking again and excited about something new, it's going to help you so much to just give you that sense of renewed energy. It's going to give you a sense of like refreshing your life and just doing, just doing something new, learning from someone new. I love studying different cultures. I study European lifestyles all the time. I'm obsessed with Italy. I love, the idea of ways of living that are not American. I don't know how else to say that. Because I feel like a lot of how most people in this country live their lives are just so not me. I'm very much more European with my lifestyle than I am like standard stereotypical American. I have no interest in climbing a corporate ladder. I, you know, have a very like slow like following my heart, doing what brings me pleasure kind of way of life, and that's very European. It's very Italian. Like it's very not American basically. And so like I explore other cultures. I learn from other cultures. I study blue zones a lot. Blue zones are the countries that have the healthiest people in the world. I study Danish culture a lot, and I apply things from people who are across the world to my own life here. Things like things that aren't, that American, like taking very long breaks and things that just things that are not American. When we think of our traditional society here, it's very go, go, go. It's extremely fast paced. It's extremely money oriented. It's extremely just obsessed with your job title. Like, none of that is me, and other countries are much more focused on the arts and so much more, at least a lot of European lifestyles. And I'm talking about like Italy specific and, just other countries. I study, like I said, I study Danes a lot. I love Danish culture. They're supposed to be the happiest people in the world, so I study them and their lifestyles. And I watch YouTube videos of other people who live in other countries, who live in the blue zones, who live in the European countries. Like there's a slower pace of life. The fixations are different. Again, I love the movie Eat, Pray, Love, and one of the quotes in that movie, um, there's a man in that movie that was like, Americans are obsessed with something, but I can't remember the quote, but it was like, I'm gonna leave it on the screen. But they don't know pleasure. Americans are obsessed with something, but they don't know pleasure. I can't remember what the quote is, but I'm gonna leave it on the screen. But that's more so like how I live my life. It's like a very romantic, you know, just focus on life. Even though I do work a lot and I am someone who likes money, okay? Like it just is what it is. But the way I go about it isn't, you know, stereotypical climbing the corporate ladder kind of way. I have no interest in working a 9 to 5 for the next 30 years. Like that, ew, like that, no, that's just so not me. But there's nothing wrong with it if it's you. You just have to figure out what works for you and your, the makeup of your brain. You have to know what you're cut out for and what you're not cut out for. And there's nothing wrong with being different. So if you can hone in on what fulfills you, what brings you, again, this the most purpose, and just studying new ways of life, if you feel like the way that you're living your life right now is not serving you, if you feel like the life that you're living right now is draining for you, is uninspiring, is unmotivating, learn from different people. If especially if you're in a place right now or in a circumstance where you don't have access to anyone like in your immediate circle who is doing what you want to do or living a life that you want to live or it is inspiring you, because of the internet you have access. You're watching this YouTube video, you have access to people living all over the world. And so learn from people of different cultures, learn from people who are older than you and how they lived their lives and what they would do differently, if they were your age again. Ask those people in your life, like have conversations with people in your life, like real conversations. I feel like we're losing the art of connection because of technology. That's another way that I that's why I love studying other cultures so much as well, is because they actually, a lot of them talk to each other. And again, there's an emphasis on community. Americans are very self-oriented, and everything is about me, myself, and I for a lot of people in this country, because that's just the way our society functions. Everything is about you. But when I study other cultures, when I study Danish culture, Italian culture, I love Hispanic culture as well. A lot of those people, they live together. You know what I mean? Even if they can afford to have their family in different houses, a lot of, especially in Hispanic culture, they live together for like they live in the same house as their grandparents. Like, you have it's so much more community oriented. And again, Americans are just so self-centered. Not trying to be stereotypical, and I know everyone's not like that, so this is not a blanket statement. I'm just saying, like, from my own experience, my own observations, and what I've studied from other cultures, there's just so much more of an emphasis on community and real communication and the dinner parties and the actual 2-hour lunch breaks. There's just such a much more slow and pleasure oriented, deep appreciation, gratitude oriented. Americans was it's the other quote, like, Americans live to work, not work to live, or something like that. I'll leave that on the screen too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, Americans live to work, whereas other people in other countries work to live. They work so that they can enjoy the fruits of their labor, whereas Americans just work to work to work to work to work. Like, no, like, if that's you, that's fine. But I think that, like, you need to give yourself the opportunity to explore other ways of life, to try different things, to be okay with being untraditional, or be okay with not following society standards. I know I'm a rebel, you know what I mean? Like, and it's okay to own that. It's okay to be different. It's okay to give yourself permission to live a different style of life, or just try. Just because you know, try a new thing doesn't mean you have to do that new thing for the rest of your life. Like, just because you try to, start a business or do something different doesn't mean that you have to do that for the rest of your life. You can always, one thing about this country, again, this is America, you can always get a job. There is no shortage of jobs. I know people like to make it seem like, there's this weird, well, because of like the recession and the political climate that we're in right now, that like everything's so much harder. Life is what you make it. So, like, if you are telling yourself that everything sucks, we're in a recession, there's no money, there's no jobs, you can't have fun, you don't have any freedom, that's what you're going to experience. But if you can tell yourself a different story and figure out how to live for yourself and take responsibility for your life and for your own happiness, and not, wait for other people to tell you what you can and cannot do, you're going to be able to live a life that's fulfilling to you. You don't have to do what's true for other people, does not have to be true for you. Just because someone else says that all men are bad is the one of the examples that I would always use, because it's like a common narrative in so many people I talk to and like online chatter. It's like, there are no good men out here, and you know dating is trash. And I do believe some of that to be true, but for my own life, men are not bad. I have wonderful dating experiences. So, like, and I'm not, bro, I'm not in a recession. So it's like, I understand that that sounds like pride or coming from a place of privilege. And it is, but it's also like you can just tell yourself a different story. Like you don't have what's true for other people does not have to be true for you. And so it's like you can think for yourself. That is so helpful when it comes to breathing life back into yourself, is not letting the things that are true for other people be true for you. So let yourself tell yourself a different story. Let yourself have a new mindset, a more positive, optimistic mindset. And I know that it sounds unrealistic or woo woo. So what? Let yourself be delusional. This is life. Nothing makes sense anyway, okay? Like, it just, like, what are you so scared of? Nothing lasts forever. We're literally only here for like 5 seconds. You might as well make the most of it. So, like, when you really put things into perspective, again, when you really get that bird's eye view, big picture of life, allow yourself to, like, just really live. Allow yourself to live. We, again, are not here that long, you guys. Like, I know that life seems like it takes forever and it seems like nothing good ever happens and it seems like, everything is bad and we're all going to hell in a handbasket. Like, just, you don't have to. Like, that's not the only way to live your life. It's just through a negative lens. You have control over your life. You have control. If you're watching this, that means you have internet access again. So you have some kind of freedom. I don't care what your circumstances looks like. So stop making excuses for yourself. Give yourself permission to at least try something new, to try something different, to just switch things up, to revamp. Like I said, you don't always have to add something new. You can just refresh, breathe life into something that you already have. Remember to simplify your life and just, like, take inventory of your life. If there are things and people in your life that are no longer serving you, you know you dismiss them. Let them go. Like, they'll be okay. um and if there are things that you want to do them. Give yourself permission to breathe life into yourself. Give yourself permission to do things differently and to have a new life and to study other ways of living and new ways of living and just new people. Allow yourself to make new friends. Like, talk to strangers safely, of course, but like, just there's so many different ways to breathe life into yourself. The world is massive. You just have to get out of your own little bubble. So many of us just do the exact same thing every day with the exact same people, and that is why so many people are miserable, because you don't do anything different. Get out of your routines and get out of your habits. Give yourself permission to be get loose. Again, it's such an American thing to be so stiff, but like, when you're around people, and I have so many different friends from so many different places. Like, when you're around people and you see the way that other cultures live and people from other countries live, you'll realize, especially if you're American, you'll realize that, like, we are so stiff and we're so scared and we're so, like, obsessive with things. And there's so many other ways to live that are just more free and, just more relaxed. It's such an American thing to be so uptight all the time. Like, it's so funny when you compare us. That's why a lot of people from other countries hate us or, like, just laugh at us, because we're just so the typical, like, ideal of what it means to be American. Yes, there's the, like, American dream of, like, fame and fortune and all that stuff, but there's also, like, a stereotype of America where it's like we're so stiff and so uptight and so just, like, selfish. Again, we're so focused on us and only us. When you, like, just step back a little bit and, like, allow yourself to have fun, take the pressure off, like, just relax. Go watch Emily in Paris. I know a lot of people like to hate watch that show, but a lot of stuff in that show is actually so true. Um, but just, allow yourself to do things a little different. Allow yourself to study different things, different ways of life. If you guys have any ways that you personally are able to breathe life into yourself and give yourself a new sense of renewal and just freshen up your life, go try something new. Go let me know down below in the comments what you do to do your own personal spring cleaning, if you will, a spring cleaning of your entire life. Let me know how you like to revamp your life and add new things into your life, and what keeps you, or what helps you when you feel stuck or when you feel stagnant. What are some things that, like, revitalize your life and breathe life back into yourself and into your life? Please share with me down below. And if you guys got anything from this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you check out the other videos in this series. It's a spring thing, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.